Today, we're going to paint a Chaos Chosen Warrior together. Let's get it started.
This outtake from Warhammer 2 Total War will be our reference for the Chosen. After building and basing the miniature, I started with black primer. I'm building up multiple layers to reach full opacity. In this case I'm using my airbrush. You can build up the first layer by using a brush or even spray cans. After finishing the black layer of primer, I am switching to white ink for a zenithal highlight. I am using my airbrush to create a zenithal highlight by pointing it to the miniature in a 30 to 45 degree angle. This will create an easy roadmap for the future steps. I'm also picking up the most raised spots to give them some extra highlights. After finishing the highlights, I'm using black and blue ink for the shadows in a highly diluted version. I'm painting all the parts of the miniature where no light will strike. The same step will be repeated with a yellow ink, but this time I'm only hitting the parts pointing upwards. This will create a smooth color variation and will help us by painting an interesting and vivid miniature in the future. For both steps it is crucial that the dilution of the paint is very high, so I will only spray thin coats in the multiple layers. For the next step I'm creating a mix of black ink, metal, water and glazing medium and will wash all the armor parts to create a deep and very dark looking armor. Take your time and don't rush this step. The paint dilution is very high, so we have to build up multiple layers. Quick tip for speeding up the painting process. By using a hairdryer, we are accelerating the drying time. Now it's time for the second layer. Always check the paint consistency and keep it highly diluted. And the hairdryer again. With the armor finished for now, I'm using brown and magenta ink for the leather and skin parts. By using inks you will see the dimensional highlight even when you paint above it. Shadows will be left darker and highlights will pop automatically because they will appear brighter. The miniature has a mouth and his torso implemented, so I'm using red ink and brown ink to give the first touch-ups. I will use pure silver to base coat all the metal parts and the weapon. Take your time for this step so that you don't overspill onto the already done paint job. After finishing the silver parts, I will darken and modulate the leather skin parts by using colors that I have already on the palette. For me, a rule of thumb is all colors that are on the miniature can be anywhere, made by be a reflection or just for modulating colors. This approach will create a more lifelike and vivid miniature in the end. Now I'm using an old gold to paint the armor trim. As in the silver part before, prevent painting on already painted parts. It will be very hard to correct these mistakes. This step is a bit time consuming, but keep cool, be patient, listen to some good music and get the job done. Now I'm going to perform like a pro and spill all the paint. Good job to me. Now I'm picking up some of these turquoise to weather the metal parts. I'm also using the colors already on the palette to modulate and darken areas even further. Now I'm using a highly diluted brown ink to wash all the gold parts. The same mix is used to paint the base. Now I'm going to prepare an oil wash in black. Washing with oil colors is a secret weapon technique. I'm using white spirits to thin the oil paint. With the right consistency I'm washing all over the parts of the miniature. At first, this will look very messy, but wait until we finish the cleanup part. I'm also using the hairdryer to accelerate the drying time. For cleanup, you can use white spirit and a Q-tip or a beauty brush. Makeup sponges will also work very well. Don't use too much pressure. You have to be very gentle. Now the case chosen is already quite nice looking, but I think we will take it the extra mile. Now is the time to take the steps to the next level and paint a real eye-catcher. I will pick up pure gold and hit all the raised parts of the golden trim and the edges. I'm using pure red for the mouth details. I'm hitting the skin with a brighter flesh tone. I'm moving back and forth between red and the flesh tones to create an interesting looking skin. I'm painting the leather by using the same colors. I'm using turquoise again to weather all the metal parts. I will also use this color on some of the armor parts and the trim. This will create an interesting color variation and highlights on the miniature. We'll use all the colors on the palette to highlight the leather parts, or even to wash down different parts of the miniature. In this case I'm using turquoise, brown and reds. painting the eyes and the details on the helmet by starting with white. After this I'm using a vibrant orange to paint the eyes and the OSL effect on the armor. The OSL light effect is built up by multiple layers of the orange color. Now I'm using pigments to put on the base. I will also put on some grass and add rust and blood effects to the miniature. After finishing the last touch-ups, you can see the end result in this picture. If you liked the video, vote, comment and subscribe to my channel, and you are always up to date for new upcoming videos. Cheers, and I'm out.